G'day, welcome to Art with Alison. Now I've done this pour and I've decided to scrape it, but rather than just scrape all the paint away and waste it, that I would instead find some lovely spots to dip some cabochons into and make some jewellery. So that's it as a whole painting. Yeah, I mean if it was a small 8x8 or something it might be alright, but with a big 20x20 you need something that's going to look great from far away, and this won't, so that's why I'm going to do it. So I've got these are little glass domes which are called cabochons, and they're all set up onto, here we are there, it's a golf tee, so it's glass dome, called a cabochon, stuck on to the golf tees. That way I can turn it upside down without it falling off, we hope. So, and these, I managed to get some nice wooden ones, so trying what I can to not destroy the environment as much as I can help it. Anyway, so I've got all these ones set up, ready to go. And need to wipe over them with some tissue with some isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Actually, I've got this set up on a better setting now to show you the close-ups. So you can see there's some beautiful, beautiful areas. Look at that. It's just so gorgeous. So hopefully I can find some good spots to dip these in to make some pretty jewellery. And up here there's some pretty colours. Where are we? I think that there's quite nice. I'm not sure if I can get some jewellery with those parts. And up here. So we'll see how we go. I need to do it obviously before the paint dries. So I'll start with a large rectangular one. So I rub that over with the dampened tissue and push it down a little bit, and then dry it off with the dry tissue. And then it's good just to check it that there aren't any smudges on it. And now shall I just push that on securely to be sure. Now is the time to decide what will look good in a pendant. It's so pretty there, but I don't know that I can capture that. I wonder if I can, I wonder what that would look like. It's too much white. It's good to have a bit of contrast, but once it touches the painting, that's what you get. You can't then move it. That is the disadvantage of doing it on the wet paint rather than wetting, obviously you can't do that with a canvas, but if you pour your paint onto some silicone or something, then you can peel it off and then you can find the best spots. Maybe if I twist that around and just get a little bit of white. See where it touches is what you're going to get. You need to just lift it up. Because it's been sitting on the canvas for a while, or since last night, it's not terribly runny, so I don't need, if it was very runny I'd let it run off into a corner, but I think that's just fine, just the way it is. And now I actually got another one of these, and I'm going to put this in there and pop it in to dry on that one so it's out of the way. And now do the next one. So because I've done a pendant, I now want to do some earrings to match. So I've got these also little oblong ones. Wipe it with the tissue with the alcohol on it and dry it kind of till it polishes, till you feel it running smoothly off it. And now look for a similar pattern to what we got off the for the pendant. I think maybe this will be similar. Lift it up and put it down to dry. And now for the other earring. Again, rubbing it with the alcohol, drying it off, polishing it. While you do that, you kind of push it on a bit as well. And maybe this bit here. Capture a bit of that white. And you see you get exactly the pattern that you popped it on is what you're going to get. I'll go for a round one now. Dry it off whilst pushing it down. Alright, now what would look nice is a round one. This looks really pretty, doesn't it? Again, you've got to think, what will it look like as a pendant? Do you think this is gorgeous here? Capture a bit of that curve there, as well as the stripy bits. Make sure it has completely covered. Lift it up. Put it to dry. And now I've got, this is like a medium size, and these can go on bracelets. I've got some little bracelets that these can go on, so find, oh sorry it's wobbling again. I think this here with that bit of blue. That looks good. Something you might want to do too is to sort of swivel it around to let the paint even out. And then as long as you've got it straight in your polystyrene or whatever it is you're holding it in, it should just level out nicely. So that's for the bangle, the bracelet. And now we need to do some for the earrings to match. So I might actually get them both ready. Sometimes it's easier because sometimes you forget what it is you've dipped it into. There's so much to be looking at and you want them to be similar. Alright, so I'm going to go, where am I going to go? This here is really pretty. straight underneath it to get similar. It doesn't matter if it goes up around the edges, because when it's dry, you just scrape that off. It's easy. It's easier if you do it when it's like just a few days dry rather than leave it a month. It's still easy enough to scrape it off, but it is easier if you do it sooner rather than later. Alright, so that's good. That's a set I've got there if I want to make a set. Now I've got these long pendants. Dry it off. Now, let's see. I think this would look nice across here, wouldn't it? Should I capture that in there? Or leave that for a circle? I think I'll leave that for I don't know. Maybe I'll come down here a bit. We can get a bit of that blue in there. Make it a bit more interesting. See, that's what you get. Let's even out a bit. Put it in to dry. And so I have this same ones for the earrings of those ones. Just a matter of finding what you think will match, really. I mean, they didn't come as a set. I thought, well, oblong with oblong will look good. Alright, so you can see where that was. So we don't want to get that white bit in, but we can go a bit lower and still get that blue there. That up there, and there's a bit of that blue up there, so I'll capture that bit in there. Now this here looks, will that look good in a, I don't know if it will or not actually. Maybe here, it's good to have a bit of variety, not all just one colour in a pendant. So I've got to watch I'm not doing it, actually you can see where I've already done some and it's left, it's pulled up the white paint from underneath basically. So try and look for some parts that have obviously a pretty area and some different colours. So I think it is hard. Well, maybe I'll go up here, go for that. Where you pop it in is exactly what you get. So you can see that there has remained the same. And then because the paint, okay, I did this, oh sorry, I keep knocking the thing. Because I did this painting last night, the paint has started to set up a little bit. So if this was very runny paint, I would let a lot of that run off, but because it's quite firm, I'll just twirl it around a little bit and then set it down vertically, and then it'll just spread out evenly and that'll be fine. And the trick is to find a spot very similar for your earrings so they match. And yeah, I've got some dogs and puppies playing with each other, so it's a bit noisy. Now I've got to try and remember what that looked like, because you want it to match. Let's have another look. Okay, so it's got the dark and the yellows and the orange. If you don't like what it looks like after you've made them and you go, oh, don't like that, I might incorporate a bit of that real dark there. You just put them in some water and the paint just floats off. Easy peasy. Straighten that out. So I've got them set into polystyrene, some little bits of polystyrene I got off something that I bought. So, see, I don't know if it matches, but this looks nice. As long as they're similar colours, pattern doesn't have to be exact, because of course this is original art. It's not a copy. So each piece, of course, will be individual. So now I might, got these long ones for some different sort of pendants. Wipe them with the alcohol one and dry it off, like you just polish it, so, and then push it down. And I think here looks really pretty. Might get a bit of the aqua in as well. Maybe down here. So I get some wider stripes along with some thinner stripes. I think that will look nice. Just make sure the whole thing gets covered, and you see that's what you get, is what you've dipped it in. Make sure it's drying vertically, and then it'll be fine. And again, some earrings to match. So I've got these oblong ones here. Yeah, it's just been pouring and pouring today. Normally our WA, southwest Western Australia weather, and when it rains, it only rains for 10 minutes or so, and then it stops raining. But today it's just been raining non-stop and lots of wind. Maybe they call that a storm. Now it didn't matter that I kind of smudged it a bit, because exactly where it touches is where it will be. Now if I'd have been cleverer, I would have left space, but towards where you pull it up, it kind of mucks up what's right next to it, so I can't really go in there, because I don't think that would look good, because I have too much of that white in there. But down here is quite pretty, as I said before. It's original art, as long as it's similar. It doesn't have to be the same. Okay, so still pop them in the, it's just some polystyrene packaging that I got with something that I bought. And it's very handy just to pop them in. So that's given you an idea of what you can do. So I might do might do some in here. That's quite pretty in there, isn't it? So rather than throwing away, when you've done a pour and you don't like what's happened, it's not what you're aiming for, and like this one, it's too busy for such a big canvas, I feel. So actually that looked nice in that round part. It's not enough. Maybe over that bit. I want a bit of light with the dark is the thing. otherwise it just looks dark. Yes, Kiki, it's raining though. Maybe here we've got the aqua and a bit of the red in there together. Maybe this would look prettier. And a bit of the white in the middle. Try not to get where I've done it before. That'll be pretty there. Just let it touch. Lift it up. Twirl it round. And set it. Now that one, that's quite crooked on the golf tee. So I need to make sure that I pop it in sideways into my polystyrene so that it is drying, that the actual cabochon isn't on an angle, or the paint will just run off the edge, which we don't want. I think that's alright. And some earrings to match. Let's do them all through at the same time. The one for the bracelet. It's starting to dry out a bit there, so I get some in the middle. Push it on. Try and push it on straight if possible, makes it easier. Dry them off. Alright. So can you see down here? Should check this, shouldn't I? I want to be doing it off where you are. So that had, there's a nice bit there. See if I can grab that bit there with the red and the aqua. It's got a little bit of the black in it too. It should look pretty. And I think I'm going to go for this bit here. And I also have some rings which fit, which do the same size as these earrings, so I might just find something that looks pretty there. So if that turns out, that can be a little ring. Okay, so they've dried, obviously. I'll take them off the golf tees so you can see. And I'll lift this one up. Isn't that beautiful? It's come out so nicely. And then the earrings to match. Same with those ones. And I've put this one here, similar, in the trays so you can see what they look like. The matching earrings. Now this one, I expect that you noticed at the top of the painting that I was dipping into, and that there are these lovely areas with the blue and the yellow, gold, orange peeping through. So I managed to capture a couple, this one and one with yellow, and I think they look quite nice in the gold setting. And here's the other one. And then got ones like these. It's all from that one painting. And up here. And this is for a bit of fun. It's a little novelty. I haven't glued them in yet. It's a little novelty owls. It's just an idea. Another one of those. And oops, this is another type of setting with this thing that goes around and around. So I haven't glued that in yet. So the idea, I think, is you can have two that are almost similar and it looks like you've got one stone. I think that's the idea of it when it spins around. There's another one in the brass colour. Now these ones, the normal earring settings that I normally use. So just, as you see, I haven't glued them in yet, but they just pop in there. I've got some more fancier ones here, but they look quite pretty. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Oh, dog's going through the doggy door. A little ring to match. It was actually Fiona from Fiona Art. I saw her when she did some dipping similar, and she'd had some little rings and I thought, oh, they look pretty. So I managed to find them on the internet. So with these, they're expandable, so you know, you can adjust them to the size of your finger. But these ones are quite pretty as well. The dog's in the other room and I can hear snoring from here. Okay, so what haven't I shown you? So some little bracelets and some larger ones. These ones will fit, like, take this out, so that can go in there for a bracelet. So just glue them in. If you watch one of my other jewellery videos, you can see how they get glue, or not necessarily a bracelet, but how to glue your cabochons in. Alright, so yeah, that's a demonstration of different trays, colours you can get, like the silver, the gold, the brass and the copper. And you can find matching earrings to go with them. Yeah, I think these blue ones will probably look prettier in the silver ones, and maybe this one in the gold. Yeah, and maybe, I don't know, maybe one like that in the brass. And it's a matter of, you know, you just play with them really until you're happy with what they look like. So yeah, they're all from that one painting that I was going to scrape. Well, I did scrape in the end, but before scraping I managed to get all these beautiful jewellery settings. So it's an idea what to do rather than just waste all that paint, which does cost quite a lot of money. You can recoup some of it by making some jewellery and seeing if you can sell it or give it to friends. Alright, family. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it ever so much. And big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. And yeah, I shall put up some more videos again soon. Alright, thanks heaps for watching. Bye for now.